This is the demo for Nuts. This game isn't out yet, and the demo only shows a short segment of gameplay, but it is really interesting gameplay. It's something that I've never quite seen before. I'm pretty impressed, not just with, I mean, you can see there's a really unique art style in this game, so that's the first thing I'm impressed by. But I don't know, there's some really clever gameplay here that sort of like, it simulates probably one of the more boring jobs in the world, but it does it in a really sort of quick and pithy way that actually, I don't know, it's fascinated me. So we're just going to play through the demo. It's not that long, and you know, eventually, you know, this game is going to come out, and you can play the whole proper thing. I am planning on getting it. I wish listed it on Steam and everything because it looks like it's going to be a pretty interesting game. It's kind of reminiscent of Firewatch, I think, is probably the closest thing that I've seen. It's the kind, like, you know, it involves somebody out in the wilderness investigating perfectly normal stuff, doing an everyday job, and then it seems like you're going to start uncovering something that's a little bit out of the ordinary. So.
Yes, that's right. You have your own research caravan, and all of the squirrels of Mammoth Forest to keep you company. Pays not much, but I think it's the perfect stepping stone for your career.
Hope you can hear that audio
I'm looking
okay.
at your resume now. No problem with isolation, proven self-sufficiency, no expectations. I'm frankly completely confident in your suitability.
Day one, pick up the phone. Before I pick up the phone, however, Awesome Twitch just reminded me that I have not changed my stream info to say that I'm playing Nuts. So I'm going to quickly do that. Sorry for you, those of you who are watching me on YouTube later on, for whom this is a giant waste of your time. But it shouldn't take me too long. Oh, weird. Nuts is not an option on YouTube, so I'm just going to call this Nuts and Milk on YouTube. I don't know what that is. Some game from 1983. Anyway. Okay, so here I am in my caravan, and the phone is ringing.
Hope your nerves survived that shaky ride. Yeah, I know, but the quad only fits one. You get used to it.
I feel like this dialogue might be a little bit quiet. Let me pull up the volume just a little bit.
So, welcome to Mammoth Forest. I'm sure you'll love it here. Such peace and quiet. Yes, cash is transferred every Friday. Don't worry, we won't forget. I know it's not easy as a recent grad.
Doop-de-doop. Okay, so she got cut off, so we can look around this place. So anything, it looks, is it anything that's orange I can interact with, I think? So I can like pick up my mug and, whoa, set down my mug. Oh, phone's ringing again.
Me again. Yeah, the line cuts out sometimes, but I'll be quick. Everything you need should be right on your desk. And I'll fax over the details of your first task now. There's a code board in the caravan for your research. Just pin it up there. I'll wait.
Okay, so this is actually one of the cuter parts of the game. It's just you can just do all these sort of normal things like pinning things up on a corkboard.
Okay, read this carefully. And I'll send you a map too so you won't get lost. Now, can you see a small GPS device with an antenna?
Notice that when you are on the left side of the corkboard, things you stick on it are leaning to the left, and when you're on the right side, they're leaning to the right. I love that little detail, so I can put just a little bit of, you know, sort of personalized skew on the way that I arrange things in the world. It's like, they could have just come up with some, you know, UI screen to check for this. This game is relentlessly skeuomorphic. Like, they don't give you, I mean, obviously there is HUD. There's the, you know, the subtitles for the dialogue. There's my mission objectives over there. So they're not like, you know, forcing themselves to make every single part of the game perfectly skeuomorphic, but they, you know, a lot of your HUD is things like, you know, this GPS device that you pick up.
Your first task is simple. We just want to make sure the equipment works. So, find the tree I marked on your GPS and place a camera nearby, pointing towards the tree. Then head back to your research station. Once you're in position, hit record on the deck and watch your footage closely. When you see the squirrel on your TV, print it out and fax it to me. Got it? Great, then you're all set. Talk soon.
So she did just describe the most basic mechanic in this game, which is, you know, you set up cameras, You scrub through the footage and you find the thing you're supposed to photograph, and you fax her the pictures. But yeah, so it's like, you see, you know, instead of having a mini map, I've got this GPS unit that I'm holding in my left hand all the time that shows me where things are. And so they've made the game relentlessly skeuomorphic like that. You know, skeuomorphic is the word for when the UI looks like a real thing. You know, it's not just you know, superimposed on the screen, but there's actually like an object, or it looks like the thing it's supposed to be pretending to be. And it's actually, this even goes beyond skeuomorphic, because it's like, it's not just like they have a mini map that looks like a GPS device. Like, they've actually modeled a GPS device like you're literally holding one in your hand. So that might even be, there might be something beyond skeuomorphic that is. But anyway, but like, you know, they didn't just like they give you so much like control over just the weird little details, and basically, so they're simulating you doing something fairly pedestrian. And so I think to make that feel good, they needed to give you sort of like a modicum of control over the fine details as you're going, so that, like, you know, pinning things up on a board, you know, reading objectives on a screen, kind of boring stuff, but just that little touch where I get to decide exactly how things are oriented makes me invested in it and makes me care. All right, so I've got my GPS, time to go outside, and there's a box. Hey, new boots, here's everything I can spare at the moment. Good luck with your research, Simon. And it's a camera. Okay, so I look at my GPS, I can see there's a little X telling me which way to go. So I head down here, and the X seems to be pointing at this tree. So I get at a good angle, I set up my camera, and I sort of move the camera around to point in the direction I want, capture the tree, and then we're good. So I'm gonna head back here, and I can see some orange stuff over here. Like, so far I haven't needed to use this toilet, but it does have interactive toilet paper here, so I don't know, at some point it's probably going to be important, right? Alright, so I come in and I hit record, and then time passes. And so now I got to analyze the footage. So I'm sitting here, so this is what night looks like. I'm sitting here at my desk, and I can hit play, and I see, oh, I see a squirrel come down. So Nina said she wanted a photo of this squirrel. So let me try to pause it. There, that's a pretty good picture. So I'll get up, and then, so this screen is on channel 1, so I set the printer to channel 1, push the button, and like, it's weird that a printer works this way, but you know, it's perfect for the game. So I pick up this picture. So if I want to, I can just post this picture up on my corkboard. Or actually, if I don't want the corkboard to get too cluttered, I can just, you know, stick it up on my wall anywhere I want to. This is a weirdly fun mechanic. I love the idea that I could just print out as many pictures as I want and just stick them up all over the place. I am curious what the color scheme of this will look like in the daytime. But anyway, what I really need to do is make another one. What I really want to do is fax this to Nina. So right, when you fax something, it doesn't go away. Well, now I've got more of it. So, stick it right there. And now, oh, she's calling me.
Whew, seems everything works like a charm. So now, what we really need is a close-up of this squirrel near its stash. We found them in treetops, under rocks, buried underground, anywhere really. From prior research trips, we know this one takes the same route every night. So I'm sure you can follow him easily enough. When you have the squirrel framed at the end of the recording, print out a photo and send it over. Oh, and Simon mentioned something about dropping off some extra stuff for you. Maybe check outside.
Okay, so at this point you start to understand why you're here. You're a squirrel researcher, and you're trying to trace the paths of these squirrels and learn what it is they actually do. So here is my second set of notes, and this says, okay, so I need to figure out where the squirrel goes, place cameras, print a photo of it climbing a tree, and then fax it to Nina. All right, that works. So, because it's nighttime though, we should go to bed first. Yeah, so this is the basic cycle of this game. In the daytime, you go outside. Oh, let's get a new television because I've got 2 cameras now. So there we go. Grab my second camera. So in the daytime, you go out and you place cameras, and then at night, you you watch the footage, figure out what you can about what the squirrels are doing, and then the next day you go out and move the cameras again. So, okay, so I know the squirrel climbs down and runs to the right. So I need to set up a camera to capture where that squirrel goes. So maybe over here on this rock would be good. So let's move it so, yeah, so we know it goes to the right, so let's try to capture as much of its path as possible. And then similarly, let's set this one up so that if it continues to go the same way, I can see which way it goes. So there we go. So we're sort of capturing the area in front of this tree so we can watch the path of the squirrel. So let's go up here and push record. So Smug Rainbow Pony says, oh, this is all about watching squirrels? Yes, that is. So the thing that I love about this game is they take one of the most boring jobs in the world, which is recording and watching wildlife for weeks and weeks, waiting for something interesting to happen. And they make it actually really interesting. So, okay, so I push play. At some point, the squirrel should, yes. So the squirrel comes down and runs this way. Oh, gets onto this camera and stops, looks around, and oh, goes up that. Okay, so I think I might not have to get particularly close. This might be good enough. So let's still on channel 1. I think this will count. Let's send this to the university. Pin it up on the wall, and then
into the forest. Hey, it's the middle of the night. Go to sleep. I'll call you in the morning.
Alright, let's go to sleep. Yes?
Let's try something a little more challenging. We know that some squirrels build their nests, trays, a bit further away from their nut stash. I updated the location on your GPS. And you know, not all squirrels keep their stashes in trays.
Okay, so we got new orders. Let's angle this one a little bit. Yeah, that looks nice. Okay. So, I need to take a picture of the squirrel stash and fax it to Nina. So there's a new squirrel. You'll notice I've got a new X on my GPS that's sending me off to the right somewhere. So they've marked the tree where the squirrel will start. It's down here somewhere. Oh, I can run, by the way. But one thing I love about this game is the fact that they know I'm doing something that could be very slow and arduous and repetitive, and so they make me. I can move really, really quickly. When I sleep, it just passes instantly. They get straight to the point. Like, they really are doing their best to take something that could be long and arduous, and they're cutting out time wherever they can. They want this game to move quickly, which is kind of, pleasantly surprising for a game about this subject matter. So, okay. This is the tree that a squirrel is going to come out of. So, let's find a good angle. So, the squirrel could go any direction from this tree, so let's just try to capture as broad an area as we can. See which way the squirrel goes, and if the squirrel happens to go just directly on the other side of the tree and that camera can't capture it, let's grab this camera and try to cover our bases. Okay, so let's get it from the side. There we go. Alright, we're good. Head back to home base. And hit record. Smug Rainbow Pony says, I love the shaders. Yeah, I mean, this game, you definitely are not going to be confused about what game you're playing. Or if you see somebody else playing this game, there's just no question what they're playing. This game is so... It's weird. They're using kind of like similar color schemes to like old CGA displays, but not quite. You know, and certainly it's like they've chosen a handful of colors, but they're using a nice spectrum of different sort of brightnesses of each of those colors. And so there's enough subtlety that it really feels, you know, that you can really read a lot of, you can read it really well. You can read the image really well. There's lots of contrast and subtlety to it. But it's also, yeah, just that limited color palette. It's just, it's I don't know, it just makes it really, really distinctive, and I like it a lot. Anyway, so let's see what happens. We hit play. Squirrel goes down, and which way is it going to go? Which way is it going to go? That way. Okay, to the left of that rock, and then goes to the right. Oh, and it goes further to the right beyond that rock. Okay, so if I look in the perspective of... Let's back that up. I was watching camera 1. So I don't think camera 2 picked up anything after... Oh, yeah, no, it picked up about the same thing. Okay, so we don't have the stash yet. So... Okay, I was wondering... So, okay, so I don't actually have to manually sleep. If I just open the door, it'll say, oh, by the way, you slept. And it doesn't... And I like the fact that if I go to the door, it doesn't say, nope, you can't go out at night, you have to sleep now. They're like, oh, you want to... Yeah, well, you slept. Okay, and they just, again, cut to the chase. Cut out time. They are very, very compassionate to me. Okay, so let's look at the perspective of camera 1. So it went behind the rock on this side, then it came out and started going that way. So let's, maybe we'll go, okay, let's go follow the same route. Okay, so the squirrel went this way. So let's set up the camera here. And then let's grab the other camera and see if we can make a guess about where else it's going to go. So I'm cheating a little bit. I actually do know where it's going to go because I've played this demo before, but I'm going to pretend that I'm being just extremely clever or lucky by pointing the camera in that direction. So, all right, let's head back. Oh, I went the wrong way. How about I actually use my GPS to figure out the direction my house is in? There we go. Hit record. So Smug Rainbow Pony says it has a lot of Firewatch vibes from before that game goes wild with the plot. I actually said that earlier in the stream, but yeah, this game, if there's any game it reminds me of, it's Firewatch, because it's me talking to a distant woman on the phone about you know, doing kind of a boring language job, and then weird stuff starts happening. So this demo only gives you a slight hint about the weird stuff, but it's kind of fun. So let's get there. Okay, so I hit play. So it takes longer for the squirrel to show up because I'm not looking at the initial tree. But I think camera 1, yes, camera 1 gets it going behind the rock. Camera 2 also picks it up. And then camera 2 catches it hopping across these rocks. So then it disappears out into the bushes. Okay, it goes right behind those bushes. All right, so next, day 5. So I love the fact that, you know, I'm just rushing through this, but this character has already done like an entire work week's worth of work right now. Like, he's had to live through, you know, the full day. Like his experience, like my experience in this game, is actually, it's pretty fast paced. I make a lot of really quick progress. He's not having that experience. He's spending hours and hours and hours here. Okay, so the squirrel went up that way, so I'm going to place this here, capture its route up that way, and then I'll go over here, grab my other camera, and then, yeah, I can't go quite as quick, I can't run in the water. Okay, so it goes up that way, and then I'm going to place this here, capture further down the route. The first time I played this, I didn't fully understand which way the squirrel was going, so it took me longer to get to this point, but I'm not going to make you wait through too much fakery. Well, I am going to make you wait through me having no idea where I'm going. Luckily, again, you move so fast that even if you go in the wrong direction, doesn't matter. You'll recover real quick. So Smug Rainbow Pony says, you're having 80-second long days. This guy has to pad his time watching Netflix. All of Netflix. Yeah, I mean, that almost sounds like, I mean, watching the footage, like really watching a night's worth of footage trying to catch a squirrel would take a lot of time. But I kind of like the idea of having a job where most of the job is just, yeah, sitting back and watching Netflix. Alright, so again, it'll take even longer for the squirrel to show up for the first time. In fact, we could make it go a little faster. Oh, there it goes. So camera 1 catches, then camera 2 sees it, poke around, and then, oh, what's that? It disappears into those bushes that camera 2 can see. Okay, well. Yeah, I think it was day 8 or 9 when I finally got this far. When I originally played through the demo. So this guy had already been here a week by the time the more interesting stuff started happening. So, alright, so looking through this, so these bushes are where the squirrel went. So it's, aha, there's a cave in here, and, okay, bunch of nuts, that's to be expected. Why does a squirrel have matches and gasoline? Good question, right? So let's just do that. So I kind of don't even care where camera 1 is. I guess, I mean, I don't know, just to be thorough, I guess. We'll just set up camera 1 right here to watch the squirrel go in. And then, so the thing I'm not clear on is that gasoline? Does that represent some human activity that I'm discovering? Like, does it mean that like somebody's planning something or setting something up? There's like some human criminal that I'm going to start uncovering their, illegal activities, or is the squirrel collecting gasoline? Are these squirrels doing something weird? The trailer for this game seems to indicate that the squirrels are particularly creepy and mischievous, but that could also be a red herring. I'm really not sure what to expect. But let's catch our little squirrel arsonist in the act here. Smug Rainbow Pony is amused by my forest parkour. Right, I'm going to speed this up a little bit. So it should arrive in camera 1. There we are. It arrives in camera 1, goes inside, and then it just buries itself in nuts, which is great. Come on, I want to get a nice... Oh, that's the end? It's just buried in the nuts? Come on, I want to get a better picture of the squirrel in that. Come on. Ah, there we go. Looks like it's about to drink some gasoline. Alright, so, because it's on camera 2, I gotta switch this to print from camera 2. I like that they've set it up so that I can kind of print whatever I want. Like, if I just wanted to go out and just do some photography, I totally could. Oh, in fact, I remember something from my first session. Ah, and it didn't happen this time. My first session, my character actually noticed something out in the world. Oh yeah, there's a boat in the cliffside near the river. Maybe send a picture of it to Nina. So you can take pictures of stuff that is not your primary target. And I'm not sure what value that has, but it's interesting, right? Like, it sort of gives you another thing to do each day while you're out there, is look for other targets, not just your mainline target. So I'm sorry that I didn't get the chance to explore this one. I forgot that it was there and the game didn't remind me. But there we go. So yeah, so we'll print out this image and we'll send it.
Why would a squirrel stash gasoline and matches? I mean, did the squirrel plant that there? like things have only gotten stranger and stranger in Mammoth Forest over the last few years. Phew, we'll have our work cut out for us, getting to the bottom of this.
And that's the demo of Nuts. So we can't go any further yet, but I am fascinated by this game. I've absolutely wishlisted it on Steam, and I really kind of can't wait to find out where it's going. Is this going to be some dark human conspiracy that I uncover? Is it going to be like squirrels plotting against humanity? I just feel like it could go any of a number of different directions. And so this core mechanic is a lot of fun. They're extremely considerate developers who seem to have built everything around making sure that I can play the game in as fast-paced a way as I want. Like, I don't, if I want to kind of take the game slowly, relax, go on a photography trip, take pictures of boats, stuff like that, I totally can do that. I can play it slowly and languidly and use it as sort of a way to relax, like you can in a lot of other games that are set in the wilderness. But if I want to play it really quick and just cut to the chase, I absolutely can. The game does not try to waste my time and try to force a certain pacing on me. And that's really fun and really considerate of them. So I appreciate so much about this game. So I'm absolutely going to check it out when it's real, when it actually comes out. But since that's all the game that's available right now, we're going to wrap this up and move on to something else. Nuts. That is nuts. This game is nuts.